This is Jon Makes Beats 2.0. I'm going to walk you through what I just spent the last week painstakingly creating for the channel, and then I'm going to tell you why I did it. First off, let's show you what hasn't changed. We still have the Octatrack here and the Waldorf Iridium keyboard. What has changed though is now instead of just recording audio from the keyboard into the Octatrack like I have been, now I'm going to be incorporating MIDI as well. The Octatrack, if you don't know, has 8 audio tracks, but it also has 8 MIDI tracks. So this allows me to do maybe not twice as much, but twice as many tracks. Now that hasn't changed, but what's to the left of me is what changes everything. If you've seen one or two of my videos, I'm pretty sure you've noticed a piece of furniture in the back there with a bunch of instruments around it, on it, in it, that was begging to be incorporated. Well, that thing is now over here. We now have the Moog Voyager, the Roland Integra 7, the Akai S950, the SP1200, although the screen's not working, I gotta go get it repaired this month, and the all-new Analog Heat Plus effects, which I'm really excited about. And to tie it all together, a full-fledged digital mixing console. That's not including a few choice outboard pieces of gear, saturators, compressors, what have you, to make sure everything sounds as good as it can. So I just said a bunch of words at you right now. Before, I was only working with audio clips in the Octatrack, meaning I had to commit all of my ideas and all the patches to a recording and then move on and layer on top of that. That's in the past now. What we can do now is also record MIDI into the Octatrack. I can use this keyboard to sequence all of this other stuff. I can use the Voyager as an analog mono bass line. The Integra 7 is a huge deal for the channel. I can't really state that enough. I think the Integra 7 is probably the most underrated piece of gear, synth-wise or Rompler-wise, to come out in the last 20 years. No joke. I can also trigger the S950 with the keyboard. And all of that stuff I'm doing here can be recorded as MIDI information on the Octatrack, meaning that once I record it in here, if I want to change a sound in a certain way, I can do that before I commit, which is a big deal. The S950 being here now is a really great treat for me and for all of you. The S950 is arguably the sound of early 90s hip-hop. I mean, you saw the SP1200 everywhere, and that's the most iconic thing. But if you see a lot of those pictures, right underneath it was an S950, and I don't think a lot of us realize how much of the sound was actually being played back from the S950. There's not a lot of things that I can throw in there that sound bad, you know. Rock to the rhythm.
Rock to the rhythm.
Rock to the rhythm.
Rock to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm. It's just instant vibes every single time. Drum breaks sound great in there, samples sound great in there, but what actually sounds really good to me, and I use this a lot, is I'll record a tone from a synthesizer, or I'll just whistle. And then you can play chords, and it sounds great. Sending whatever you're playing into the Analog Heat Plus effects to get like reverb and delay and distortion and tape wobble. All of this is amazing, and I'm happy to have all of it around, but it wouldn't mean much if there wasn't a way for me to route it all together in a meaningful way, which makes this Allen & Heath SQ5 digital mixing console the most important addition to the show by far. I've been doing this for like nearly 20 years, most of the time using hardware, and I never learned, or no one told me, how much of a game changer it would be to have digital routing, instant recall. It just blows my mind that I went this far using hardware without knowing this. Any possibility between any of these sources is now easily done. I mean, I had to go to Perfect Circuit like 8 times to get cables and stuff, but I mean, hey, now any of this can be easily done. I can now send in any combination, any of these sources straight into my Octatrack to be recorded. I can send audio out from the Octatrack into the S950, sample it, pitch it down, bring it back in here, chop it in a matter of seconds. I don't mean to gush over this revelation, and obviously all this stuff can be easily done in the computer digitally. Like, I'm not in the future right now or anything. I just always dreamed of having a routing setup like this, and I never did it because it costs money. I'm absolutely in heaven. I can record the microphone with this stuff. I can record the computer with this. I even have a video game console hooked up to this monitor here, and the audio for that is being routed into the mixer, which I can then sample if I so choose. If I choose to go back to the Bowser days. It makes me happy, and I'm very excited to share that with you. With all that said, after I built all this, I sat myself down and I asked myself, is this going to make the show better? Because all the routing possibilities in the world don't really mean much if the outcome is you're bogged down by more complexity. I've always been a subscriber of simplicity is key. So how does this make the show better? Well, let me tell you. Considering that we only started in July of last year, I'm so grateful that over 50,000 of you want my little beat making videos in your life. When I see that kind of response to something that I'm passionate about, not only is it deeply touching, but it's also incredibly inspiring for me to keep moving and pushing. I want to keep up with the inspiration that you all are giving me. And that's the purpose of all this. My original vision for this project has always been to show you how beats get made. For you to be a fly on the wall during someone else really like going for it and making something and not just for the camera. And with this simple synthesizer sampler setup, I was starting to feel like, yeah, I was keeping it dumbed down a little bit for the camera. Part of it was just my lack of being able to do anything about it, which is why I want to do this, because now it feels like I'm at home. It doesn't feel like I have a set in my studio. Now it feels like I'm in my studio. As we all continue on this journey together, I'm looking forward to seeing how else it inspires me. Wherever it may take me, I'll be happy to have all of you there with me. Thank you so much for everything. If you are excited about what we're doing here, I can tell you I'm more excited. You know, some people would say that's not a competition. I say it is a competition. I'm more excited. So while we're all waiting for that next video, I made a playlist especially for you to check out if you haven't seen all the videos on this channel. They are in reverse chronological order, so enjoy. Even ones that have since been unlisted. So click. You might want to take a look. Click, 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 click.